So once you start the lesson, you'll notice at the very bottom you have a countdown timer that started at 5 minutes working its way down, meaning that you have 5 minutes to actually do the lesson. And right now, as I'm talking and as I move this bar on the screen, the V1 Pro app is capturing everything I'm saying and doing on screen. So when the student actually gets the video, they'll be able to hear and see everything in this space. They won't see like their name down here or the slider bar. They will see the logo, but they won't see like the tools button or anything. They will just get what's relevant to them. So as I draw lines on the screen, different shapes.
Yeah, I want to understand how to draw these lines and these shapes easy on I'm using an iPhone, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, with an iPhone, I mean, just because the screen's smaller than an iPad, which is what I'm on, you're probably going to be a little more restricted. But the tools, they do work the same way. We'll start with the line. When you click on the line tool, for example, you can choose like whatever color you want it to be. So you can select blue, yellow, whatever color. And if you use a single finger and you just like draw on the screen, that line will just follow the path of your finger of whatever you're doing. Also, if you try to make the line straight,
I wanted to, and I'm just using the tip of it. So how do I get a straight line kind of off their left leg or right leg if I want to look at kind of body motion?
Yeah, there's two ways to get a perfectly straight line. When you make a straight line with just one finger, the software will actually detect that's what you're doing, and it will automatically straighten it. The quicker way is to actually use the pinch method with two fingers, like your pointer finger and your thumb. And if you actually put them both on the screen at the same time and then spread them back and forth, you'll get a straight line because the two endpoints are going to be connected to each other using your two fingers.
When you're doing that, you're just moving your two fingers right now on the...
Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. So for me on an iPad, because I have a bigger screen, it's a lot easier for me to do than on an iPhone. But yeah, I'm just using, it's like when you zoom in on like a web page on your phone, or if you're using like a map or something, you would just pinch to zoom or pinch to unzoom. You do the same thing but with the line. Yeah, and then that same line of thinking applies to the circle tool and the square. If you use the circle, it'll keep it in a perfect circle, and as you move those fingers, you can apply that anywhere and make it as small or as big as you need it to be.
So if I wanted the center of the head, I would start in the center and then kind of work out.
Yeah, and then you can also move your fingers back together and then make it whatever size you want. So even as I'm moving this around, and as you virtually have it. All the control that you could ever want in this app. Yeah, and then same thing with the rectangle tool. You can make any size square you want if you need to, and do the same thing. Because it'll just detect your two endpoints and apply those to two of the corners of the square. And then the next thing in that list is the hand tool. This lets you actually resize the video itself and actually move it around on the screen. So if you use that actual hand tool, you can actually zoom in a little bit closer to your golfer if you need to. If you want to focus a little bit more on, like let's say his hands, you may want to zoom in a little bit more. And maybe use a circle tool to, point something out that he's doing. So that's a great way to use this tool as well.
Got that.
Yeah. And then the next one with the arrows, that one's a little more difficult to use, even for me. It follows almost the same principles of the line tool, but what it does is it actually creates these endpoints that you're supposed to be able to manipulate, and you can actually move them around after you've made them. So if I draw like a straight line, it actually will place an endpoint directly in the center of that line. And then you can always go back and, manipulate it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have much need for that.
Yeah, most lessons I've seen online, not a lot of people use that tool. I mean, it's got